Hello, everybody. My name is Christopher Saunders, and this is the Connecticut Sports Talent Show, where we talk all things talents in Connecticut. And this is a special edition of the top performance of the week for Connecticut high school football. And I'm pleased to have on the strong safety and main reason why he's here, the running back for the Simsbury Trojans, John Mairano, whose younger brother is a sophomore, plays alongside him on the defensive side. John, it's a pleasure to be able to have you on, man.
Pleasure to be here.
I think it's always great to be able to have a Trojan player on. I've had during the pandemic last year, I had Aiden Bayshawns, who was your quarterback for some time. Now he's doing great things in college. I've had your fantastic coach, the great Coach Masters. He was awesome to be able to have on multiple times. And now to have another Trojan on, I always like to ask this, except for Coach Masters, because he's the king of all Trojans. What's it like being a Simsbury Trojan?
It's awesome. I think we have the best coaching staff in the state. And I think our culture is just awesome. We're
And
all a family, and it's amazing.
I want to go into that culture too later on because I think there's a lot that goes into that, and you could explain that in multiple ways, and also the staff too, because your offensive coordinator, Coach Moose, he is just we'll get into that later. But I want to ask you, man, I want to go back a little bit. The game of football finds people and players in different avenues. It's not linear. It's very unique how football finds people. How did football find you?
I mean, I started playing football in like fifth grade. Uh, I was a big lacrosse player, and all my friends played football though. And so my mom actually didn't let me play, but she let my little brother play. But fifth grade, she finally let me play, and I just fell in love with it, I guess. So it was always the most fun for me.
Is there anything athletically on the football field that translates from lacrosse in any sense?
I don't play lacrosse anymore. Now, honestly, my main sport is probably wrestling.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, so
But, but
definitely,
but
definitely wrestling and football translate into each other heavily.
but what I'm saying is, as far as kind of like, is there like footwork, or is it anything that you, when you did play lacrosse,
Oh, when I
that
played,
was able to translate
well,
to the game of
yeah,
football?
I mean, yeah, just like being an athlete, I guess
Hmm.
that's the big thing.
Okay. And you also said you're a wrestler too, right?
That's,
Okay. And obviously, wrestling, you have to be, strong in the upper body and in the legs. That also has to translate to the game of football, I would think. No.
huge. Tackling is basically a shot in wrestling. So,
So, how long have you wrestled for?
actually started wrestling and football the same year.
Really?
That's I feel like fifth grade. That year was when I became like a man, probably.
So fifth grade is when you become okay. I like that. Fifth grade is when you put on the big boy pants.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty funny. And I want to actually hit on to the wrestling part again because would you say that even though okay, so let's say football season ends and then obviously you have the typical regimen throughout the off season,
Mhm.
but for you having wrestling, it's like football without the pads. I feel
Yeah,
like you never really take any time off, which is good.
yeah, yeah, definitely. It's this like after the feeling after a wrestling tournament. It's like the same feeling after playing a game. It's basically the same.
Also, too, when you're wrestling, because I've never talked to a wrestler, so this is pretty cool.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously, like you said, the tackling and all that. Is the form also the same thing as well?
Yeah, yeah, they're actually pretty similar. Like how you tackle, how you shoot.
Hmm. Huh. Interesting. Okay, I did not know that. See, learn something every day. So, as you were going through your, freshman and sophomore year, now you missed your junior year because of COVID, so you missed football, and I think was wrestling missed as well, or no?
Yeah, yeah. There's no wrestling.
Okay, so I want to hit on those first 2 years. Take me into those first 2 years for you. How was your development and kind of what was it like going through your freshman and sophomore year?
Freshman year, it was just like freshman football. You know, pretty simple, I'd say. Got a lot of carries. I thought I did pretty good, but I never actually played like I never got called up to JV or anything. But so and then sophomore year, I got to like practice with the varsity a lot. So with the varsity, so that was cool. And I was backup running back, so I got a lot of touches on. I got in a lot of scout. That was big, and didn't play a lot of defense, but I played. I got a couple carries a game. Scored 2 touchdowns against Cheshire in the playoffs. That was the highlight of anything. That was awesome. But yeah.
Do you think being a part of that, man, because Simsbury has obviously the numbers are great.
Mhm.
The talent is just, the fifth player on the depth chart could start for some teams. That's just how deep Simsbury is.
Mhm.
I mean, you guys roll deep in like 80, 90 kids.
Yeah.
And like you said, being able to get into the playoff game against Cheshire. Do you think kind of going through those steps allows you to, as far as your growth as a player, helps? Because I feel like it would.
Oh yeah, definitely. 100%. Just feel like the atmosphere of everything. It's yeah, huge.
Is there any particular uh either player or coach through your first 2 years that really kind of took that next step as far as your development?
I mean, the guy who was ahead of me, Dan Sohn, really helped me a lot with everything. He was like a big brother to me. So that was awesome. Always like supportive. Like even though I took some of his carries.
Is there anything in particular? I mean, I know you said obviously you took his carries. Shame on you. You took his carries. But no, but seriously though, I think, and he was an older player, correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. So obviously, you were the younger. He was going to one day, as he moved on, you would take over for him. Was there anything in particular that he kind of showed you either during a game, maybe post game to try to recover? Because I know when I talked to you, I think it was early in the week, I asked you and you were telling me how you were still recovering from your game. And I mean, hey, you had a fantastic game. We'll get into that in a little bit as well. Um, was there anything that he did to kind of help you? Because, like you said, you were very young still, as far as kind of the football player. You're still young in that area.
I mean, honestly, just leading by example. Just like that. See that's how I like to lead. That's how, just like do everything right in the game in practice. That's basically it.
Okay,
Just play as hard as you can all the time.
interesting. All right. So your junior year, man. Obviously, as we all know, COVID took away a lot of things. Looking at football in Connecticut, it didn't happen. What did you do during that time to be able to keep yourself both mentally and physically, not just in shape, but also trying to stay on the up and up?
I mean, just try to focus on the positive, I guess. I always look forward to every game. So I guess I mean, we had like the passing league stuff. So just find positive in that. And I mean, I knew I was super optimistic that we'd get to have a season this year. So just keep a positive mindset, I guess.
Did that motivate you? Like you said, you knew that you were going to have a season at some point.
Yeah.
Do you think that because of that, it maybe helped you during the dark times
Yeah.
during the last year plus?
Yeah. And like to see I knew the seniors weren't going to have any season and they were still pushing. So like if I'm going to have a season next year, like what reason do I have to stop?
Okay.
They were
And
those guys were definitely inspirational.
was that kind of like a collective thing, as far as, even though like the seniors were not able, weren't going to be able to play, everybody felt like, as I mentioned, a collective whole, like, all right, if they can't play, there's no reason why we cannot put in the same effort, because they're putting in effort and they're not even going to have a season.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
100%.
All right. So what did you do during that year plus? I mean, were you watching a lot of film? Were you working with various players on your team? What were you doing to get yourself prepared for this season?
I mean, we had like a passing league, so we had practice like I don't know if I forget if it was every day or not, but then we'd have like a game against a team, just passing league stuff, and then winter I was trying to wrestle a lot, and then but then the spring we had passing league, and we did a lot of film. I think every week we had like a Zoom film session.
Hmm. How
So
was that?
I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, my coach can tell me now that when I got a pick against Maloney because of something that I did in passing league all the time. So film definitely works.
What was that?
It was just this play that I used to do wrong all the time, and then I finally fixed it and got a pick.
Can you share the play, or is that top secret?
Uh, yeah, I'll keep it a secret for now.
All right, at the end of the season, then you got
Yeah,
to share it
season
because I'm intrigued by that. All right, so going into this year, you talk about the passing league, preseason, off-season workouts coming into the preseason, et cetera. Did you know that you were going to be one of the bell cows, one of the kind of top players on the Simsbury team where people were going to be looking at you, not just for production, but also as somebody to help lead the Trojans?
Yeah, I mean, I was like one of the only returning varsity guys. I think, yeah, like one of like maybe one or two. So, yeah, definitely.
No, see, I did not know that. So because of that, with you only being one of a couple, was there, did you ever feel any uh sense of pressure just because, or I shouldn't even say pressure, but patience, because while you've been through the ringer when it goes to seeing a lot on the varsity side on the field, you had a lot of young kids that haven't, and they were going to go through some growing pains. Did
Yeah.
you feel like you were prepared to be able to see that in the beginning?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, I think so. I mean, we have like guys who haven't even played like JV that are playing varsity right now. Like they came straight from freshman football. So like it's a big change, but people are stepping up.
Is there any particular player who has stepped up the most in your eyes thus far?
I mean, all I have a lot of respect for all like the juniors who haven't even played. Like let me like Charlie Strayer, Dan Sullivan, Austin Coro, Noble, Gon. They're all juniors who are playing big roles for our team who've never played even a snap of JV football. So
Huh. Yeah, no, I think it's very unique, man, to be able to just see the development of from the first game of the season and then now, when you think about the lack of varsity experience. And like you said, you had players who didn't even play JV. Oh, you're on varsity. It's like in baseball. I know you're not a baseball fan, but when you go from A ball to the majors, it's like, there's more decks as far as in the stadium. The speed, the game goes a lot quicker. I
mhm.
mean, has anybody ever talked to you either during a game, after the game, or before the game about how the game is just different compared to freshman to varsity?
I mean, yeah, of course. I realize that too. Like you just see it. Everything is just so much more. Yeah, definitely.
So do you feel like the game for you has started to, or has slowed down to where now you can start using that brain to be able to process things quicker? Maybe even, when you go up against offenses, or in this case defenses, because you play both sides of the ball.
Mm.
Have you seen enough now where you're like, okay, I have an idea, or I know what they're doing. I know their signal. I know their call.
I think I'm definitely there on offense, but I think I still need to get there on defense. Just like get more in the rhythm.
Now, what do you mean by that on defense? Talk to me
Like
about that.
I mean, I never like played a lot of defense before on like the varsity level, so I think I'm still got a few, got a little ways to go before I'm 100%.
Now, looking at both positions, as far as the offensive side is concerned, if you had to describe yourself, if you were a scout sitting, all right, and you were like, okay, how would I describe this player? How would you describe yourself as a running back?
I mean, think I'm quick, and I think I have really good ball carrier vision. I think I can find the holes pretty well. I don't have the best like breakaway speed, but I know how to hit the hole.
Now, are you the Le'Veon Bell where you're patient, or are you like Zeke where you just, all right, I'm just going to go after four dudes and however many I carry into the second level? All right.
I'd say a mix of both.
Interesting. So, I've never heard that before. Why is that?
I mean, sometimes I think sometimes when I like need to get the yards, I could just go like just
Hmm.
no read, just go. But sometimes I think I'm pretty patient finding the hole, bouncing it out or cutting it up.
Do you prefer as a running back to go north to south, or do you like to kind of have a little bit of a like a jump start where you're kind of revving the engine and then you're gone?
I say I like to go north south because like I mean I'm not that fast. So like when I like to just like
Hmm.
get the handoff, one cut, move.
Okay.
That's that's definitely my style.
And then defensively, because that's the part of the game that I like. I'm old school. I like to run the ball. If I was a coach, I'd be boring. Running the football all day and being physical on defense. That's how I would do it. I think I've told Masters this quite a few times. He probably rolls his eyes at me. But I know he's a triple option guy, so we love that. Um Defensively, man. What do you, because I haven't seen enough film on you defensively to be able to judge. So that's why I'm asking you this. What do you think are things that you could, what are your strengths and what are things that you could work on without revealing too much?
I mean, I think I've done pretty good in coverage, like man to man and zone. Got mossed the other day, but we don't talk about that. Uh, but I think I definitely need to work on my like run support a little bit, but
No,
that'll come with getting used to it.
now by run support, you
Like just
mean
like filling
okay,
the run and stuff.
okay.
I mean, I think that also comes with like playing all the snaps on offense. A little bit tired, but I gotta fight through that.
Now another thing too I want to ask you is obviously because like you talked about the coaching staff and Simsbury has so many coaches, and it's great to be able to see that amount of talent on that side to be able to help disperse that amongst various players and positions. You know, what has Coach Masters, Moose, and other guys on the staff, what have they done to be able to help take you to the next level?
I mean, just always support. You know, uh, Moose is just amazing. He like I mean, his pregame speeches are I think the greatest thing ever. But just like I don't know how to explain it. They're just like so supportive for everything and like just the way they like do every facet of the game. They just know what to do, how to run practice. I can't speak highly enough about them.
Did they ever tell you that, either in front of the team or just one, uno, one on one? Did they ever say like, "Hey, we're depending on you to help lead us"? Did they ever say that to you during or before the
Oh
season?
yeah, Coach Master says that all the time.
Really? How? What did he say to you?
I mean, he just expects me to be a leader on the team because I've been like a guy for the longest out of everyone on the team now, probably. So
Mhm.
he just expects a lot from me.
Are you shocked about what you have done thus far, man? As far as the numbers that you've put up, I mean, your previous week you had what? You had 3 touchdowns. You had over, I think, what 200 yards, something like that.
Yeah, 216.
Yeah, 206. I mean, are you and you've done well throughout the season on both sides of the ball. Are you? I'm sure you're not shocked, but just do you kind of just sit back, like after you're recovering after a rough week? Are you kind of sitting back like I'm keeping this going. I just got to keep the train moving.
Yeah, yeah. Just do my job. Do whatever I can to help the team win.
Okay, you're kind of just like, yeah, it's all right, whatever. I'm just gonna run for another 200 this week against Enfield, and I'll be all right.
I mean, yeah. If it helps us win, do what I got to do.
Do you play like just in talking with you a couple minutes? You seem very like very cool, very a little bit of energy, not a lot, but I feel like are you different on the football field? Are there two different Johns as
I
far
mean,
as this and on the football field?
yeah, probably. I get pretty angry at people on the football field, but also, I mean, sometimes it depends. It depends how the game's going. Honestly, I mean, I feel like like last game probably. I don't think I drank enough water. I was pretty quiet, just kind of putting my head down and going to work. So that game I was a little foggy. but like usually I'm pretty amped up. But I try to just lead by example, I guess. I don't talk a lot of smack. It's kind of hard to at running back, honestly.
Now you said how you get angry. I mean, do you like have to find things to get mad at, or is it just like, all right, pads are on, let's get mad?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's usually it's usually when the outside linebacker doesn't listen to the stud call.
So that's what gets you mad.
That's what gets me going. That's what fuels me.
See, I thought it was going to be somebody on the opposing team talking smack, or maybe Moose would call you ugly or something, and then it just gets going like, oh, you called me ugly. All right, I'm going to run for 500 yards.
Usually, it's just like positive encouragement from my team. They all they're all we all love each other, so it just gets me going. I want to do good for them.
That's great to hear, man. Now, I just want to ask you too, because obviously the wrestling part is very important. When with you being a senior too, is there any consideration, or have you decided what you're going to do as far as when you go to college, if you decide to go?
I'm most likely trying to wrestle in college.
Okay. Is there anywhere in particular that you're looking at?
Not yet. No.
Okay. So just you're kind of just testing the waters, seeing what's
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
That's good to hear, man. Well, hey, I really do appreciate you coming on, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck this season, and as well as whichever school you decide to go to. I mean, if you decide to choose wrestling, if maybe football, if Masters can convince you down the road, if you want to play football, I mean, hey, whatever you choose, bright future ahead for you.
Yeah. Oh, hold up. I just need to shout out my two guards, Benny and Denny. They'd get mad at me if I didn't shout them out.
Just the guards, you're forgetting the
I
tackle.
mean, I love the tackles, but the guards, they're crazy. I don't want to make them mad. I love
Well,
I love my whole
you don't want to make the tackles. All right, you know what? All right, let's start
the,
this
ta-
over
the
again.
tackle the tackles are more nonchalant than the guards.
Well, I'm going to tell you, go down the line from the left tackle to the right tackle. Go down the line. Give the whole line credit.
Okay, yeah, I gotta give left tackle Jack Garrity, left guard Denny Denny I don't Denny Kuliev, uh, center James Love, right guard Benny Kuliev, and right tackle Lucas Sanborn Birch. I love those guys.
Anybody else?
Uh, I mean, of
Oh,
course, my quarterback Evan Wallace.
yeah, how can you forget about him? I mean, he's had a fantastic season.
Oh yeah, he's a beast.
What was it? Moose texted me before the season, said, "Watch out for this kid," and I said, "Okay, I will. I mean, I trust you." And then first week, I think he had a monster game, and I was like, I think I texted Moose after and was like, "This kid's legit. You were right."
Yeah, I think he's a better runner than me.
That's hey, what a teammate! You're being honest about that. Now, I really do appreciate you coming out. It was great to be able to have you on. And like I said, wish you nothing but the best of luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Now, wrap things up in the Connecticut Sports Talent Show. So until next time, stay safe. The CT stands for Connecticut Talent. And I'm on a journey to find them all. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, and be well.